I forgot to mention the endoscope procedure, and that is super common. They wanted to do that on me years ago when I had IBS, and I denied that because even back then, I had read about these infections that people were acquiring from getting scoped, meaning the last person that they put the tube down, they didn't properly clean or sanitize that. So then they stick it down your throat, and then you leave the hospital just to investigate. And as you said, the only thing that's going to come out of that is they may say gastritis, which is super generic. It doesn't tell you anything about these infections, and they're not going to give you an herbal protocol to address the infections causing the gastritis. But now you've left the hospital with Clostridia or some other possibly antibiotic resistant infection that's evolved to evade the sterilizing and cleaning procedures. So I'm all about non-invasive, accurate functional medicine testing, and that's why we love what we do, because there's very rare, maybe one every 5 years, is there a case where I'm like, yeah, you need an endoscopy because there's something crazy here.
Yeah, usually with a endoscope or colonoscopy, which is going to be going up the rectum to look in the colon, usually there's got to be blood in the stool, some type of significant inflammation, whether it's excessive diarrhea, excessive inflammation, excessive blood in the stool, excessive weight loss. It has to be at the extreme ends for that to make sense. Most people just have inflammation, and a lot of times the test won't kind of tell you enough about the root cause. They're just going to put you on medications to manage the symptoms. And that's where you're kind of stuck in between. Now, a lot of my ulcerative colitis IBD patients, they've already done that. And
Yeah.
so then it's like, all right, they've kind of already crossed that off their list. Any weird cancers, ulcers, it's already done. They know they're just being managed with Lialda, prednisone, a biologic. And then it's like, now what? Right. And so we still have to get to the root cause of that and get the immune system chilled out and figure out what stressors are there so we can get on top of that too.
Yeah, I mean, I know you and I have seen countless emails being sent to us with pictures of colons and, different things from these
Yep.
scopes. Like, hey, here's my scope results. What do you have to say about it? And the answer is always the same. Okay, there's something there. Let's work on the infections. And so, yeah, someone in the chat, Shelly, said yes, that they all recommended me every time I go to the doctor. So, yeah, I mean, that's all they've got. They don't have the stuff that we're using. Maybe in 20 years from now, you can go right down the street and get done what we're talking about. But for now, you've got to seek out somebody like us that's going to be able to help you. There's one person in the chat too asking about viral impact on the gut. It's real. I did a whole section of that in my Better Belly course about that virus in the gut, and so it's a big factor.
Yeah, and just to kind of speak kind of on the line here, so we don't get censored. There's certain viruses that are out there, right? There's an ACE2 receptor site that gets impacted in these different viruses, and the ACE2 receptor site, there are a lot of them in the gut, and these receptor sites are really important for absorbing amino acids. And so, if you have any of these maybe chronic viral issues, one of the good things that you can do is actually extra free form amino acids to allow these receptor sites to absorb these amino acids easier, right? Think of free form amino acids, they're already broken down. So if we have this chronic immune stress and you're having a hard time recovering from the immune stress, adding in some additional free form amino acids can be very, very helpful on the healing side.
Yeah, I've seen a lot, and there's papers on this too, but I've seen it clinically too. People post virus that will look at their stool. There's gut inflammation. There's low secretory IgA, so we can see there's been some damage, and so we have been able to resolve it. So yeah, we'll wrap this thing up. But if you all need help, please reach out clinically. We mentioned the websites one more time. Dr. J, it's Justin at justinhealth.com, me, evanbrand.com, and we're here to help you guys. So you can reach out, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
And sometimes we'll even use some kind of an elemental diet with people that have chronic digestive issues, just because it can be hard breaking protein and fat down. And these are really good, important nutrients, but sometimes we just got to break it down for them. And using some kind of an elemental or a modified elemental, where maybe you make the first 4 to 6 hours of the day really easy to process in some kind of a smoothie or a shake that has most of the amino acids in a free form, maybe the fats more easy to process, like in an MCT oil or something like that. And then we use a lot of the vitamins and minerals all broken down. That can be very helpful and give the digestive system a chance to rest. And some people, they notice this because they just feel really good when they fast. And so if you fast and you feel really good, that's excellent, but you're still not fixing the problem of getting nutrients in the system. So that's where using some kind of an elemental type of shake can be really helpful.
Yeah, well said.